worry about right from the get-go. NaVi have a few tricks up their sleeve, though, as they've gone for the raid boss buy on Flamey. They've got extra utility sitting on C's, 2 smokes overall to play with here, but one of them is going to be used, I believe, to fake towards B. That one will kind of get wasted. In the meantime, though, C's is able to get some good damage to Loa, and the nade bounces just in the right direction to be able to finish him off. A small advantage, but an advantage nonetheless that NaVi can try to work with, as they are now funneling in to try and take A site control. And there is a large presence on the site, but with what there is, they've already found impact. Dennis knocking out one. They've almost taken down a second, but Flamey and Edward battle that back so quickly, bringing this down to just Ropes and Chris J, both of which stuck near the site connector. They don't have great positioning to play off of here, so that's pretty much sealed in, unless we see some miracle work being done by mousesports here, with C still sitting inside a drop room. They have to send Ropes back over the other direction. Chris J has found a kill over in the shed, actually, and Ropes kills C, so they may have a chance at this one yet. They've got a kit to play with as well, but the bomb's been on the ground for a long time, so they are running out of it, as they need to get themselves back into this site with no time to spare. In they will go. Chris J flashing himself, not the best start to the play there. Guardian taking down Ropes as well, and he'll follow it through by eliminating Chris J.
So that just quick A Halls hit. They send the B player to fight B plat. He gets that kill, and it becomes a up, and from there, you know, they're able to get that bomb down. They still had a chance, though, 2v2. Chris J did have the kit as well, but now we're going to see a pretty, you know, friendly, you know, economical buy from the CTs. They just get a couple deagles. Only player with half armor is Dennis. So they're just going to try to chip away economy damage, and they could even buy next round, you know, deagles again, and just try to get like 2 kills around or something like that.
Edward, though, able to counter out Dennis's attempt at a CT aggression now, as he keeps to himself. Like we saw back on the first half, he was no stranger to this type of aggression before, but this time it's not going to work out, so at least not for now on this second round. Sports are being taken care of relatively quickly, although some troubles for Seized as he tries to distract the two remaining players here on the B-bomb site. The only one remaining over towards A has just gone down by the hands of Flamey. So for these last two, probably not even going to end up doing that much. They don't have armor or anything, so it's not like a huge save, but at the very least, they can carry it through to the third round, save a bit of extra cash before they end up fully investing on the fourth round if they want to do that. But Lowell, not even going to get a chance at it. It's found by Cbble coming in from the backside and now just on ropes, but finds himself a nice first shot, looking for a few more, as now he's going to be cornered. So for Rops, it's not looking too good, and yeah, he does end up getting taken down by Edward. It's not a clean house. Take a fifth round. Still a long way to go, of course, but at the very least, they found themselves the right path to start off on.
I mean, Cbble could be a very T-sided half, especially, you know, if you get the economy going your way. It's a lot of the time pretty difficult on CT side to make the T's uncomfortable. You know, we saw Liquid on Train versus NaVi. Train's a pretty easy map to do that. Like, you could take inner control and box all control. You could take ladder control. You could take T mid control. You could double molly T left, you know, left side T mid control. On Cbble, as we're just seeing full mid rush on the Eco for mousesports, just getting cleaned up right away. Last two players around 8 balls. On Cbble, it's a lot more difficult on CT side. You know, yeah, you could take B plat control. Even that can be pretty contested. You can maybe take drop room control. You could try to do some, you know, stacks like NaVi did, right? But it's a lot more difficult to push, to get aggressive, to make the T's uncomfortable, to kind of dictate your own pace on CT side, to go for aggro picks all the time. It's a much different map than other maps on the CT side.
And now on this round is when the pressure is going to start to roll back in for NaVi, as they claim the pistol round, but if they drop the rifle round and don't immediately trade it back, then they're still going to find themselves in a pretty poor spot, and mousesports just on the cusp of a map victory. To start this one off, mousesports do decide to risk it a little bit and going for the 4-man stack over towards B. Pretty safe stack, though, and one that we've come to see quite often amongst many teams. So Oscar is going to be the lone player defending over towards A-Long, but this 4-man stack may work out great since NaVi are going for a pretty straightforward B execute here. Heavy on drop pressure, but nice shot for Flamey to start them off. And Edward as well, jumping onto the ledge to eliminate Dennis. All of a sudden, it's just Low on one more here to defend it. Low along with Ropes, but nicely played. Ropes bailing at his teammate for one more before he does go down, and the same thing will be said of Lowell. So he gets eliminated by Guardian. He saves the day there, and now it's just down on Oscar in another 1v3 situation. Really set up for success either. Being mollied out of his entryway from drop, smoked out of the doorway. He may just find it better in a second to fall back and save. Just moving over to pick up that molly real quick.
Yeah, and who was that died there? I believe it was Dennis to Edward, was it? Who just flew through the window. Gets that kill probably in the air. Just something that you can't really play against. Not much you could do about that, right? If you're Dennis there, just kind of unlucky. But they do go down drop. I think it was 4 players actually, and just go out drop and B, take the site pretty early on. And this is pretty dangerous for mousesports. Oscar gets a nice kill there, and when he does have an op, every round is, you know, winnable for mousesports. Like if I'm them, I might get some pistol half armor on everyone else. Maybe make Oscar, you know, go for something aggro, make it 4v5, then hold the site by himself or something like that, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So they're just going to lightly buy up, just to support the op a little bit, give them a better chance of, you know, winning this round, but also still be able to buy in the upcoming round as well.
Sando already down to just a 5-round deficit, so Navi still has the chance to play into this one. Need to win at least 1 or 2 more here to really make it contestable. And in a moment, we're going to find out who will hold the early advantage, as Edward is not wasting any time. He has support from Simple sitting behind him, too, and a few of the others are all grouped up. They are going to try to go for basically just a direct B contact play. But the thing is, all 5 from mousesports are here to defend it, ready to fend this off. And they're not taking any risks early on. They're just hiding behind cover and inside of these smokes. 1-1 to start us back off, but things do go back into control of NaVi just seconds later with Simple and Guardian picking up some additional kills. It's down on Oscar and Chris J. Chris J has some close quarters combat to work with here. He's waiting to see if anyone else moves out, and there's actually some confusion, but Chris J and Oscar both pick up their initial kills. C's thankfully still way back over here on the platform, so he's able to trade out that kill into Chris J, and it's Oscar stuck alone in a 1v2. But he should know C's is sitting over here, and molly him out to buy him a little bit more room to play with. C's is smart, though, goes for this peek, but it may be his doom. Works out in his favor, though, as he's able to swing out and finish off the job, taking down Oscar and securing the 8th round now for NaVi.
Yeah, close there. They do get 3 kills. They're going to be able to full buy again. Oscar again on that op. So Chris J really, is the player who's adapted his game like the most, right? Not only is he in-game leading, but he's playing a lot of really tough spots. I mean, you're seeing him play drop room now, in my opinion, a very difficult spot to play. And he's really changed his game over the past like year or so.
Spread out early on, NaVi are going to play into more of a default this time. They want to be a bit cautious due to the aggression being shown from mousesports, but they're actually countering out quite well. Rupp's down at 2 HP after being pelted with numerous nades. I think he got sprayed down a little bit as well. His teammate's still at full HP, but now Flamey pushing forward, spots the head of Chris J. And Guardian is going to be able to take down Dennis as the first kill. Catches him, I think, inside of the mid-connector over there, just as he was trying to retreat back inside the site connector itself. Plenty of time to work with, however. NaVi are not going to be rushed in any sense of the word. Guardian, though, just getting a bit more aggressive to try and hunt down an additional pickup, but doesn't find anything when he goes out for the actual peak. mousesports kind of scrambling around, trying to figure out how exactly they want to set up them, but they have lost Dennis, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the air about where exactly NaVi are going to take this bomb, even to this very moment. NaVi's still kind of shifting it back and forth, now heading into the B halls. I'm probably going to end up going out onto this site now. This time he's getting a little bit too low to switch it up for a third time. They will need to commit themselves to this site, which means it's down on Rups and Lowell to try and hold it back off. Rups down at just 2 HP, so he needs to be so careful. Basically just trying to delay this with the additional smoke. It's not going to succeed, though. His time is too low for this, so he needs to get ready to play it back out. Molly's basically trying to maximize the damage he can do. He gets hit by the flash, but nobody checks him, even though he's right out in the open. Simple misses that Q. Thankfully, at low HP, is an easy trade for Edward, and Seas picks up an additional shot. The missed shot from Oscar seals his fate, as he's also taken out by Seas. And with Chris J still way back over in the B halls, we'll see what he's able to do, but in a 1v4, things are not looking bright, and more than likely, we'll be looking at a 9th round for NaVi in just a moment here, but sneaks in that 1 kill. He may just find himself happy with that, though, and now decide to fall back to save.
Yeah, if Rob's had more HP there, that's probably a huge hold by him. Either stops the take completely or probably ends up getting 2 or 3 kills. But unfortunately for him, with 2 HP, just catches a, just one stray bullet through the smoke. Tried to get out of there. I mean, he's probably worried about an HE grenade or something like that coming his way. So not much for him.
And ultimately, Chris J finds himself at a very safe position way back over by A-Long, so there's a 0 chance of him getting knocked out. He will save that rifle, and it still has about 5k, so he can drop for another teammate. They're probably going to be looking at a situation where Mouse can more than likely end up flying in this next round here, but we'll see. They've taken the helm, and they put mousesports into a bit of an arduous process of the buy save now, and they're just 3 rounds away from tying it, as they're going to call for their first pause in the half. mousesports, this is, will call for the pause.
Yeah, they got to talk things over and figure out a way to stop this NaVi T side. I mean, the round before, they do a B plat control. While they're doing it, Rops goes down to about 18 HP. Ends up with about 2 health, and then they completely give up the control. So you get nothing out of that. Dennis trying to make a little bit of a play in middle, I think, died and made it 4v5 with Rops at 2 HP. I mean, they're not really able to, get any aggression going. So what do you do? If you can't get aggressive, do you try to just overplay a site? Do you try to just play standard and hope that your hold is going to be good enough to stop NaVi in any type of an execute? Where do you go from there? It's what we'll see mousesports try to adapt to and see what they opt for. It's a tough call. If I'm mousesports here, I maybe just try to take, Oscar, let him up B, maybe try to take plat control and put 3A, but, that's a gamble, right? Are you going to win 4 rounds on the CT side gambling like that?
Flashbangs do work out originally for NaVi as they are trying to push their way into this A-long corridor here. Dennis holds to the first kill. He's got to trade out with a teammate, though. He's down at 15 HP, but they catch Oscar as he tries to bail into the smoke. Now it's Chris J. It's got to be the hero here against Simple. He doesn't spot him at first, and Chris J succeeds in picking up the kill. Brings us down to a 4v3. Still lightly equipped for most of the players on mousesports, though, and they still have 2 way over here on A-long. Is NaVi, they see the play, so they're just going to change this up and swing themselves into B, but Rope's able to hold for his first kill against Flame. He knows there's another one pressuring him, and he's now down at 16 HP, so he's got to be very cautious. Sees moving in, though, eliminates Dennis, and he knows that Chris J has to be somewhere close. Is he going to suspect him right next to the door, though? No! He doesn't check for it, so Chris J gets away with another one here against Seas. It's all on Guardian, who's trying to hold in drop room, but he can't do it. Lowell takes him down, and with that, mousesports finally are going to pick up a round. That was their first round in this half so far.
Yeah, really good recognition from Rops there. So he's playing below the steps. He's going to play around there with the ump. And as soon as the Olaf smoke comes, he moves up, watches the side of it, just looks down at the feet, puts his crosshair around there, gets that kill. And because as soon as they saw 3A, NaVi just immediately went back to B, but Robs holds strong, gets that kill, and kind of stops any type of entry. Allows for the rotate to come, and the rest is pretty easy for Mouse to hold.
So now this puts NaVi again into a very interesting spot, as they're still going to be lagging behind a little bit here against mousesports, and they're still working with the advantage, of course, but if they drop too many rounds, it's still going to be mousesports' game, and NaVi will end up finding themselves broken too. They need to try and piece this together, and already Oscar finding his own impact as we get started into combat here for the 23rd round. We're up, picking up an additional kill here against Seized. Oscar ready to battle that again. I think he saw the shadow of another player moving up on the ramp itself, so he's got to be cautious about this, but peeks at just the right time to eliminate Guardian, knows there's a second player that went in to retrieve the rifle, gives that intel over, and then goes for the final pickup against Cbble. Very well played, extremely clean, not a single point of damage done to anyone on mousesports in that round, and this will be the last full investment from NaVi, as they are indeed going to force into it.
I mean, they had no chance there. You know, Oscar's crossfiring there. They didn't even have a smoke at the doors. So any type of player in the doors, like, Oscar isn't a complete crossfire. NaVi's lucky they didn't just all die in the back. I mean, there wasn't even a smoke on the doors. No rotate is being accounted for there. So they just get crushed that round.
Well, this could very well be it for NaVi if they end up dropping this round, since they did cash out. And they're still only, I think, on the second or third losing bonus round now. Yeah, so third one, coming out onto this round here. So still kind of stacking that one up.
I mean, they tried like a change of pace there, right? They've been playing generally pretty slow on their T side. It's been working. Try that change of pace, just didn't change of pace, didn't work at all. Dennis playing aggressive here at long. Edward just sitting kind of behind the smoke.
They're really just waiting. Bart buying themselves a little bit more time here.
This is like my favorite setup though on Cbble and CG side. You get that guy close long, Chris J with a big double kill and drop. Oscar gets the leg onto Edward, so if he knows Edward's low right here, this should be an easy kill for him.
Oscar's trying to hunt from suicide steps too, so he gets caught up and try to check both angles at the same time, misses another op shot, and Edward's going to follow through, picking up that second kill. That has opened up a possibility for mousesports to close out now by picking up both those defenders at A long, but the rotates are already here. They've got two players in the site. One, Ropes, is going to work his way in on the flank in just a few moments here. Chris J is trying to delay it, cause his presence to be a bit of a nuisance against these guys, and Ropes arrives just in time here. Trades out the additional kill after Cbble picks up two himself. Now Edward and Cbble both incredibly low, but this is all on Ropes alone in a 1v2, and that, I didn't even know it was possible to bounce that far back, like it hit off the tree, but apparently hit the wall. So that's going to be a bit of a whiff, of course, but not completely boxing him out just yet, as he has them both extremely low. Just needed one bullet or two bullets on either one of them, and would have been able to destroy that one and pretty much seal the deal for the map, but doesn't happen. And now they just barely keep themselves together for one more round, bringing it to 14-10.
Yeah, off a 3v5, and nobody gets a kill between Dennis and Oscar on that A hold. So even though it's 3v5, they immediately give up A. That should have been a pretty easy mousesports round, because as soon as Chris J gets those two kills, they should understand that there's pressure coming from A as well, and the rotate should be very, very swift on that A site. Since they are going drop to A, you know, and there's pressure towards A, it was clearly just going to be a drop in A split. But the rotate's just kind of late. Oscar and Dennis don't get any kills between them. No call on the player that stinks. Now they just brute force out of B.
Team Flash as well seems to have affected them, as that's going to cost them Lowell now as they go down. Oscar trading out one kill, but Guardian hitting the second. Oscar in the open, and with Guardian finishing off Ropes, and now Oscar dead. It's not really going to leave a whole lot of bargaining room for these last two, now one mousesports players that are still in the game. Dennis, no choice. He's going to fall back and save. As NaVi found their route back in as they brute force their way through B and find another round, assuming no one dies to Dennis, with 4 players alive as well, so that is going to help to structure back their economy into a better spot.
Yeah, and this will probably put mousesports on a save. And NaVi just, you know, going for these immediate executes these past few rounds. They had the drops with A that they won that 3v5. This round they brute forced towards B, just all 5 players kind of jumping out and fighting.
This is going to get destroyed by Seized on the repeat there, so no one else goes down to him, and he will not be able to get that save, which means Money is going to be in a pretty poor spot here for mousesports now. Few players sitting in range of a buy, but most are going to end up just with upgraded pistols and armor. I'm going to go for that, actually. They're going to buy even lighter than that. As most are just going to end up with just the pistol. P250s on pretty much all of them. Lowell buys a little bit heavier into the 5.7. Ropes is going to pick up nothing at all. And they will just gamble stack over towards B with all 5 players in the site. Dennis probably going to have solo holding here towards drop, with the other 3 basically just trying to play close quarters by broken in the platform. Folks are picking up at least, very least a few kills, if not just outright upsetting, since NaVi have fallen into a pattern of going for a lot of B hits now. They found success in their ability to sort of brute force their way into the site, and it seems like they're going to try to attempt that again after some delay here. Their first bits of flashbangs, so probably going to see at least one guy go into drop to get the initial control and start to check outside of window and whatnot. Still obviously waiting for those 2 players in the mid-courtyard to regroup so that they can go together as the full 5-man team, but there we go. Flamey first up to bat inside the drop room itself, and now looking for more. Catches Dennis on the retreat. Overall, this is not going to be too big of a task for NaVi to accomplish, is ultimately this slow style of play, just making sure they check everything in the site, leads to a very successful round, only losing simple along the way, and it's also a team ace that time from NaVi.
Yeah, I like that save from mousesports, though. Just take it very conservative, make sure you get a fully bought round so you could get the tie at the very least.
And this is going to be the next big investment from mousesports, so we'll see things play out for them as they're going back into their more default style stacking. Still going to be 4 towards B, however, just keeping Dennis as a bit of a player to lean in between both of those sites, obviously outside the window towards draw, but NaVi are wasting no time. Fast smoke setup is a little bit imperfect on Sidewall, but that doesn't matter. They've already got 2 kills in their favor. Lowell's trying to battle it back. He had a great flashbang working in his favor, was not able to capitalize on it in a huge way. Still trying to play passively, still trying to hold back here, but the problem is they're losing ground far too quickly to be able to do that here now. As the flashbangs continue to roll in, Dennis is going to have to check the sidewalk in a second. He's dealing with close-up pressure, but that's kind of gone away now. They actually fell back. And these last 2 are just trying to slowly work their way in, since Dennis still has the aggressive position. He's going to move in. He finds Guardy, but now he's got to check up on top of the pizza box. And I think Oscar actually legged that player. Doesn't matter, though, as Edward trades out that kill into Dennis. Oscar with a nice tap. Finishes off simple, but he still has 2 more players to go in a moment. He's going to be flanked out by Edward from his backside. He smokes out, buying him more room and real estate to navigate the site. But like I was saying before, Edward just completes that flank and shuts it down, putting NaVi within 1 round of tying this up.
Yeah, so mousesports almost on max money bonus. They got 2,900 that round. They're going to opt for another full save, I guess, maybe by a little bit of half armor. But luckily for them, like, they know how many rounds they need, so they're not pressured to just keep force buying or anything like that. I think if this is like one of those games where you really see the advantage of, you know, getting a lot of rounds that first half, because you're not pressured to force buy like that, right? If mousesports, you know, started out this half, we might have seen them force buy a bunch of these rounds and end up, you know, maybe losing this half like 13-2 or something like that. But instead, they're able to save and get those fully bought rounds to give them a better chance of just getting that 1 round that they need to, you know, force overtime.
NaVi here still splitting up into that default and simple first up to bat and trying to push A long. The flashbang goes in, but it hits him head on. So that's going to kill their initial plans. It's unfortunate as the flash also hit Dennis in pretty much a flawless fashion. If it didn't hit simple, then, well, that kill would have gone the other direction. But now Dennis is able to hold with the CZ, picking up the first kill this time. Still a long way to go, though, as the rest of the team is playing with relatively minimal pistols. Chris J knows he got spot, so he tries to play out aggressively. Doesn't pan out for him, but Lowell is there to trade that out as he drops back behind the pizza box. Ropes also picks up a kill from behind the statue, too. And now leaves just 2 alive all of a sudden for NaVi here. Flamey looking to battle it back, picks up his first kill. This one against Ropes. They do find Lowell with a trade against Edward, but Flamey also trades against Oscar. He's in a 1v2 at low HP 40 to try and play with. He has a smoke to try and isolate part of this site so that he can get across, but that bomb being down on the sidewalk is such a risky prospect, as he doesn't know if someone's waiting, listening to see if he'll go for that. And in the meantime of him trying to check the sidewalk, he doesn't even realize that both of the remaining CTs are flanking to his left, and they'll finish him off without any problem whatsoever. That's mousesports going up to map point.
Yeah, just perfect timing on that 2v1, but Robs hits a nice 1 dig there. Dennis again with his CZ. I believe that's 2 times in a row now that he's just had a CZ and just immediately destroyed the player coming towards A. So Dennis playing really well.
That's his part of the map, man.
Yeah. I mean, he had that one mess up where I don't know if Oscar legged the guy or if he dinked him, but he didn't get a kill there. But I mean, throughout this game, he has played very well.
Well, NaVi once again trying to go fast out towards B here. The smoke got in the way of them picking up any of these kills close up to the broken wall, though, so both Low and Ropes are able to survive as a result of that one here now. Dennis trying to get boosted up, or at least boost his teammate up on top of the box again, as they try to put someone up towards Tree. Dennis is up here now, so they have that positioning. The thing is, though, is this is all a ruse, and they need to figure this out quickly. NaVi are actually genius in the way that they're playing this out right now, and they pick up 2 kills to start it off as well, which is only going to sell it even more. Oscar's the one true hope now, and he misses what could have been a free kill as well, peeking out by the tree at the top of the ramp. Dennis tries to hold, but C's just walks right into him and headshots him. Now Chris J and Oscar are the only 2 remaining here. Chris J trading out that kill, but they're just going to send the bomb in the other direction since they got free B control here, or at least full B control. As a result of mousesports just falling flat, not being able to hold that at all. I don't even think there's going to be room for a retake here. Both these guys are going to have to fall back and save as they're just going to get reset in a moment.
And it's like the start to this half, right? The first 6-7 rounds, Edward hunting, it's taken out by Chris J. So Chris is going to try to save this off, and NaVi should absolutely hunt. They have enough money to buy this next round pretty good. If they can get rid of this off, it guarantees them a super poorly bought round for mousesports. But as I was saying, the first like 7 rounds, it seemed for NaVi, they were taking it pretty slow and methodical. But the second half of this game from NaVi, it's just been like these fast, brute force type strategies. And, you know, besides the round that they got ecoed at, it's been working really well.
Chris J trying to hold. He knows they're getting closer to him. Hits that first kill, though, and that's opened up a pathway to safety. With the elimination of C's, he is going to be able to save the op. Rebuys for NaVi aren't going to be too big of an issue. They have plenty of cash, as you were mentioning previously, but now this op is in play, and the rest of the team is going to buy up behind it to the best of their own ability. One more pause will be called. I'm assuming that's coming from the mousesports camp, and that is true. So they'll use one of their last pauses here to try and make sure they can try and close this out without going to another overtime in both their first matches.
Yeah, we gotta watch Oscar here, man. There's no way Oscar's not going for an aggro pick. He has the B spawn to jump B plat. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't maybe get a flashbang over from around the rock area up top, and, you know, go for a kill like that, or maybe peek middle. You know, you could just run down towards mid as well.
And we could see the ADR leaders for both teams. Simple, unfortunately, still down at the bottom, but not too far behind Guardian at 58.2. The leader for NaVi so far has been, and this entire match actually has been, Flamey, just under 100 at 98. Whereas over on the mousesports side, it's Rups at 85.3 currently.
Rups is a Estonian, right?
I think so, yes.
He doesn't have blue eyes, and like 99% of Estonians have blue eyes, actually.
So, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought he was Finnish at first, but apparently their flags are very similar, so I got thrown off by that.
The only flag that matters is the American flag. It's the only flag I know.
Well, getting back into the swing of things here now for the 30th round. NaVi, once again, straightforward in the way that they're playing these, but unfortunately for him, or for Edward specifically, who's leading the charge here, he's going to have to deal with a lot more utility coming up from mousesports this time, as it's actually, you know, a pretty well-bought round, all things considered. Edward is still going to start to move back in, looking for that first pick against Oscar. Not going to find it, as he's just holding back at a pretty typical position. Low inside of the cubby, though. He's going to be the next big player up to bat, as the rest of his teammates have been smoked back off. They check for him. He's still able to go 1-for-1 in that spot. And now Oscar lurking around. He's taken out by Flamey. So that's opened up the site. Everything goes down to Ropes, Chris J, and Dennis to try and retake this, but they don't have a flank. Their guns aren't really that good, too. They're working with umps currently. They do have close-up positioning over here to the boost-up box, at least with Ropes, but now they need to find the impact. There's the first kill, but it's immediately traded back out. There's the second kill from Flamey, and he follows it through. Ties us up at 15-15. Mousesports, unfortunately, have to go into overtime again.
Yeah, I mean, that B hold by mousesports, you know, they played it strange, right? So, like, right there, for instance, Rops is kind of chilling around the site area or whatever, the square. Lowell's holding at the flowers. It's not really together. You either want to fight together, or, you know, a really good way to hold that is you could throw one ways on the platform that work really well, or you could wait in their smokes kind of, and then wait until the rotate comes and then pop out of the smoke, for instance, and try to get kills that way. But once it happens where a player gets to chicken coop, I mean, the round's going to be over at that point. If that player gets to chicken coop and they get then you try to retake in like a 4v4, you're usually not going to be successful.
So, we'll end up in overtime pretty quickly here. Same rules as before. But mousesports going to take a little bit of a risk here. If they lose this first round, this could have bad economical ramifications going into the third round if they're not able to trade it back in the second. So Oscar, Chris J are both going to go for the op purchases here. NaVi end up with a little bit more of a normal buy for OT. To start things off again, they just go right back into their default. Not going to be the straightforward style of play anymore, at least not for this round, but triple mollying, I think, down inside of the drop room. Try and get a little bit of control here, at the very least the double molly. We're not going to find much there in the way of mousesports defense. Everyone is focusing outside of the actual room itself onto the site or watching out for that window, and they have gone back as well on the mousesports side of things, having just a double stack here. Dennis is going to be up close trying to fight for this. Chris J, though, finds the first kill, and Dennis, they haven't even spotted him yet. Edward's just gone out into the open. Chris J finding yet another impact kill here against Guardian as well, so he's doing work all solo. And unfortunately, when it's another player's time to shine, he does not fare too well. That's Rups going down at the hands of Flamey. With the rest of the team trying to now funnel back in and flank into A to cut off these A long players. But with the bomb on the ground, this is going to cause a few issues. However, I think it's in a retrievable position. Yeah, it's not going to be too big of a problem. It's simple to move in and pick that back up. He almost actually eliminates Chris J, too. But can't find the mark just yet. So Chris J stays alive. As is simple, though. More importantly, he's escaped with the bomb. But more trades going back on, and Chris J caught off guard by the peek from Flamey coming out the alleyway. All of a sudden, this is even back up into a 2v2 with NaVi finally getting that full control over towards this A site. They'll have full reign to be able to go for this plant, and it's going to come down to Oscar and Lowell on the flank to try and retake this site. And Lowell's taking his time as well, still way over towards the suicide steps. The good news is that both these NaVi players are stacked together, so Oscar just goes with this dirty peek, shuts down Flamey with it, and now only C's is left alive. He's way out in the open, but still able to take the successful duel versus Lowell. So now, only Oscar to eliminate, and Oscar moving back up. Is he going to be able to appropriately find C's as he just lurks back around, giving Oscar the minimal hitbox to try and fire at. But Oscar's just going to go for this defuse inside of the smoke. It's a full 10-second defuse. We will see if he can get it. Down to 3 seconds, though. There's no way he's going to be able to get this. He completely ninjas it inside of the smoke, and then he rolls out to shut down Seized as well. Revenge from the end of the last map, as Oscar comes in with a clutch once again.
What a madman. He doesn't even have a kit and just 10-second diffuses it. That is crazy, man.
The last player from NaVi, I think, just assumes he's not even diffusing at that point. Like, he went up and went back behind Broken Wall.
Yeah, why would you? It's overtime. You assume after like a few seconds that if he would have a kit and the bomb would just be diffused, for sure.
Oh,
crazy stuff. Wow. But that round was that round was odd, man. There was like 5 flanks that round.
Yeah.
Like there's like Chris J made it 3v5, and then just everybody just kept getting flanked.
Yep. It's turned into chaos towards the end of it, but Oscar makes it happen. And so now mousesports will take the lead to start things off, and they'll also get the advantage going into the second round as they catch Seized going past the box there, trying to get aggressive early on in the round to deploy a little bit of his own utility. That does not pay off. Look at this crossfire set up outside, right at the entrance to the ramp leading up to the A site as well. The only problem here is that they don't have any presence on the site, so the guy's coming out A long for free reign, and the only player they're really going to stop here is Flamey coming out through mid. Molly doesn't miss. They just smoke it back out, though, and now they'll peek into it, but even that attempt fails. Rups is having a much better time to hold things off from within inside of the site, though. He's already picked up 2 kills, but Flamey, with a quick shot against Rups' head, is going to be able to trade that back out. Here comes Chris J, though. He's the surprise addition. Was hiding in that smoke after getting mollied back out, and then Oscar shuts it down with a final op kill. It's going to put mousesports up 2-0 here in OT.
That was a sick shot by Flamey, but Rops comes on the rotate, gets that kill, pushes through the smoke, gets another, and Oscar shoots through the wall. They know that player's there, so nobody's going to expect Chris J in that smoke. He gets a nice little flank kill. And again, though, we see the ops early on, coming alive for mousesports. Oscar gets the early entry there, gets another kill later in the round before, to even put Oscar in a situation where he could 1v1 that round, was, Chris J making it 3v5. So the double op OT setup by mousesports is just doing work right now.
Yeah, NaVi are going to be on a bit of a hindered buy as they've gone 0-2 here to start things off. You can see the Galil, the Tech 9, obviously not as much utility, but they're back to the fast-paced style here. Low with a good setup, but is only able to get 1 kill. Chris J moving back in, though, with the second pickup. He's going to go for more as he finds himself a second individual kill before going down to Seized. It's still an advantage for mousesports as they've got a player sitting back over there inside of Chicken Coop, and Ropes and Dennis able to peek back out, finishing off that round with a 3-0 streak. So only 1 is needed to take control of this map back on their T side as soon as they switch in a few seconds here.
Yeah, mousesports, I mean, that's a really tough thing to play against, is when you get into overtime and you play against a team that has 2 oppers that are able to get really aggressive and kind of just take matters into their own hands, right? And it can really simplify overtime a lot for a team, especially on that CT side. Where you're just like, hey, let's just double op, let's play aggro. If we get the picks, we're gonna win the round. If not, yeah, we're probably gonna, we're gonna lose the round most likely. But it just simplifies it, and it's really hard to play against because, you know, if you're NaVi, they kind of went away from what was working right later on that half with which was those brute force type strategies. And now it looks like mousesports can take a page out of NaVi's book and kind of do the same. Just go out, be here early with Rops, going out on the plat, and now they're going to set up their exec.
It's a big stack from NaVi, and they have an auto sniper sitting on Flamey too, so you're going to want to pay attention to that as they move in. Nice shot from Rops, though, just deletes Guardian as he tries to hide back behind the statue. So many smokes from both sides, actually, is causing some issues at the moment. As sees Rops and Dennis trading out kills again. It's down to just 2 from NaVi at this point. One's right next to Dennis, and he doesn't even realize it just yet, but he's definitely going to be able to spot the kill and get it for free. Down to Flamey with the auto, but he's already picked up one. Unfortunately, low from the backside is going to close out, and with a 4-0 run in overtime, it's going to be mousesports that take control here of Cobblestone against NaVi. Final score, 19-15.
Is it Rops